Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the lecture number 9. Till now, so far, we have spent near about 8 lectures in understanding the root locus sketching. Now, let us understand that how we can ascertain the stability of the system via root locus, as well as how we can design the controller using the root locus. If we look into our closed loop control system, then there is a process and there is a controller here. You can say the controller C, and this is the output of the process, and via feedback this is the summing point. The feedback is negative and this is set point. This is the error EP, and this is the controller output U, and the process is disturbed by a disturbance. This is the feedback control system, or you can say a closed loop control system. Now we need to design C. You know that this process has an open transfer function G of S, H of S, and this is the gain. Okay, some gain here, controller gain. So I need to find appropriate controller gain so that it will meet the requirement. All right. Now, so this is some open transfer function. Let's say K into S plus 3 upon S plus 1 into S plus 2. This is my process. Okay. So this is steady state gain, and there are some poles and zeros, and this is controller. You can say GP of GC of S, controller transfer function. This is GP of S. Okay, and this is H of S. Okay, and you can say this is the set point. The feedback is negative. This is EP. This is U of S, and this is my output Y of S. So now I need to, so this system gain K, and these two blocks are in series, GC and GP are in series, so they will multiply. Okay, so GC into GP. So here I don't know some controller gain KC, let's say. I need to find the value of KC. So KC and K are in series, so KC, total gain is KC into K. Okay. So I can say that Kc into K is K, okay, or you can say K1, anything. Now, and what are the closed loop poles? Closed loop poles you will get, let's say this is the reference point R of S, Y of S divided by R of S. This is the closed loop transfer function, and you will get a, if you find the poles of this transfer function, you will get closed loop poles. Now, what it means is that the root locus is the locus of closed loop poles. So I need to find that value of Kc or Kc into K, because this becomes, if this is one block, then this is nothing but Kc into K into S plus 3 into S plus 1 into S plus 2. Okay. So that gain K, I need to find it, which will satisfy my control requirements. So this you can do via sketching the root locus. This is known as the design of a controller via root locus. All right, let us understand with the help of some diagram. So now, for example, let's say this is the root locus. Okay. I will not worry about the root locus which is going towards the left hand side. Okay, I will not worry about this part because they are already stable. I will worry when the root locus crosses the imaginary axis at this point, because my dominant poles are near to the imaginary axis. So I want to fix my dominant poles, and dominant poles can be fixed at certain settling time or fixed at some specifications. So those specifications are settling time, maybe the maximum peak overshoot, etc. So Ts is nothing but 4 upon xi omega n and MP is nothing but e raised to minus pi zeta upon under root of 1 minus xi square into 100 in terms of percentage. Okay. So now, if this is the root locus, then this is the gain k is equal to 0. This is gain k is equal to 0. As k increases, this branch will move towards this. As k increases, this branch will move towards this. Further, k is increasing, k is increasing. So this is how the k is increasing. Okay, this is how the k is increasing. Now I want my dominant poles near to the imaginary axis and near to on the specifications. So I want my dominant poles to be here. So maybe here. Okay. So I want dominant poles to be at certain locations, complex. So if I choose that value of k, then that k will give you the closed loop poles at the dominant poles. And dominant poles can be calculated because these are the requirement. So you have your time response specifications with you. From the specifications, you calculate the dominant poles and you find the value of gain k such that closed loop poles are on the dominant poles. So this is how the design will complete. So let us understand how to calculate the dominant poles first. Because they are dominating the response, so they occur in complex conjugate pair. Second, they are near to the imaginary axis. Okay, so we have a second order transfer function and their poles are s square plus 2 xi omega ns plus omega n square is equal to 0. And you will get two roots s1, s2 as minus xi omega n plus minus j omega n into under root of 1 minus xi square. This is known as omega d. Okay, that is damped natural frequency. So now, if you have the value of xi, if you have the value of omega n, then you can calculate these roots, desired roots. These are desired roots, okay, or desired poles. So I need to find the desired poles first via these equations. So you have a specifications with you. So the settling time is given to you, which is 4 upon xi omega n. And you have MP with you, that is e raised to minus pi zeta upon under root of 1 minus xi square into 100. From these two equations, you can find the value of xi and omega n. Okay, if you put the value of xi and omega in here, you will get S1, S2. Alright, so this was we have already discussed about dominant poles in the class or even, but this was just a revision for you. Now, let us understand with the help of S-plane. So, my roots are S1, S2 as minus xi omega n plus minus j omega n into under root of 1 minus xi square. These are complex conjugate pair. Okay. This is very, very important now. This is my S-plane. Okay. This is origin of the S-plane. Now, these poles S1 and S2, so they occur in complex conjugate pair. So minus xi omega n would be, let's say this is minus xi omega n. Okay, sorry, this is real part actually. So minus xi omega n is this, and this is nothing but j omega n into under root of 1 minus xi square. So if this is the case, this would be the pole. So this is minus xi omega n plus j omega d, and this is, you can say, minus xi omega n minus j omega d. So these are the two locations of the these two poles S1 and S2. This is S1 and this is S2. Okay. Now what about this vector? What is this angle? Let's say or let's say this is theta. Okay, let's say this is theta. All right. So what is cos theta? Cos theta. Cos theta is adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So cos theta, you will get adjacent side. Adjacent side is xi omega n. This distance. This is xi omega n distance. Okay. Upon hypotenuse. Upon hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is this. So what is this? You will get via taking the Pythagoras theorem. You can find it. So let's say this is A, this is B, let's say this is C. Then AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. So AB square is, if I take the, what is this distance? This distance is omega n into under root of 1 minus xi square. Okay. So I want to take the square of AB. AB square is nothing but this distance and this is square. So omega n square into 1 minus xi square plus BC square. BC square is xi omega n. So BC square is xi square omega n square. Okay. So if I expand this, omega n square minus omega n square xi square plus xi square omega n square. So this get cancelled and this is omega n square. So AC square is equal to omega n square. So hence AC is equal to omega n. So cos theta is adjacent side BC upon AC. So BC is nothing but xi omega n and AC is omega n. It means omega n cancel. So cos theta is equal to xi. So theta is equal to cos inverse of xi. Okay, this line is actually cos inverse xi line. I can say this is known as cos inverse of xi line. So if I know the value of xi from my specifications, from let's say settling time and MP, you will get the value of xi. Once you get xi, you draw a line of particular theta. So how will you calculate the theta? Theta is nothing but cos inverse xi. So you put a line. Okay. Now whenever it crosses the root locus, that gain k is that will give you the required specifications. I hope you understand that theta is equal to cos inverse xi and this is xi line. Okay. How will you draw the xi line? Xi line you will draw via taking an angle of cos inverse of xi. Alright. I hope you understand this. Let us continue. So now you can take any root locus. So let's say this is the root locus. Okay. Let's say there is one pole here, there is one pole here. Earlier root locus was something like this. K is equal to infinity, K is equal to infinity. In our earlier class, in lecture number 7, we took this example. Okay. Now, so this was the root locus. Now, let's say somebody has given that settling time should be 10 seconds and MP should be 10%. Then from this, you find the value of xi and omega n. Okay. So once you get xi, you draw xi line. Let's say xi is 0.6. Let's say xi is 0.5. Okay, let's say. For example, let xi is 0.5 that you get from TS and MP. So now theta is equal to cos inverse of 0.5. and this theta is roughly equal to, let's say, 50 degree or 60 degree. Okay. So once you get theta is equal to 60 degree, draw a line, and this is known as 60 degree theta, and this is known as xi line. So it crosses the root locus at here, okay, at this point. At this point it crosses. So you let this say this point is S1. Any point. Now you have a rule that at any point on the root locus, let's say S1, what is the value of gain K? You can find this via that formula, that K is equal to the gain of poles upon gain at zeros. Okay, that last rule. Okay, at S is equal to S1. So you can find the value of, so what is the value of K at these locations? So you get a K. If you have that K, that particular K, then your closed loop pole would be here. And if your closed loop poles are at here, you will get the desired response, Ts and Mt. So this is how you find the desired closed loop pole. This is desired closed loop pole. So how will you get the desired closed loop pole? Via varying K. So K from 0, it increases, there is a breakaway point, and then it again K increases. This value of gain K will give you the closed loop pole at the desired locations. So you need to, so in our earlier example, K into Kc would be equal to this. Okay, you know what is the value of K, you can find the value of controller gain Kc. So that is Kc. This is how the design of a controller or the controller gain, a simple gain using the root locus, can be derived. So important part is you have a specifications. From those specifications, you find the value of xi, get the theta, that is cos inverse of xi, and draw a xi line and mark the point which crosses the imaginary crosses the root locus. So this point is actually your dominant poles. Okay, a required dominant pole. It is near to the imaginary axis. You don't worry about this part. Okay, you don't need to cross this line, but because they are away from the imaginary axis, that doesn't contribute much. Moreover, you will get that value of gain K. You find the, so mark that point S1 and find the gain K at S1 using that rule, last rule. That is, what is the value of gain K at any point on the root locus. Using that rule, you find the value of gain K. This is how our design would be complete. Thank you. This ends the lecture number 9. Thank you.